It's a real pleasure to be here tonight, and I really want to talk about my research. But to set the scene, I'm going to talk about the really famous neurologist, Dr. Oliver Sacks, and one of his really peculiar patients. You see, this patient, Mr. P, he seemed normal, he seemed healthy, and he was a really talented music teacher, humorous guy. But upon closer examination, Dr. Oliver Sacks was able to reveal that he had difficulty recognizing faces. In one really weird encounter, Mr. P goes to take his hat, and he fails completely. And it suddenly dawns on him that this is not his hat, but his wife. It's hilarious, but also a little tragic. And he became known as the man who mistook his wife for a hat. And he's also the title of Dr. Oliver Sacks' book, The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat. And I really recommend it to you all. The point is, it was never discovered what the reason for his condition was, but I think my research might help us get some clues on what's going on. And you see, humans, we have developed amazing ways to communicate with each other, but I think often we forget our faces are amongst our most powerful tool for communication. Just in like a split second, we can find out what our mood is, who we are, and of course, where we are looking at is also really important. The point is, we don't really know where this takes place in the brain. So what I do as a neuroscientist is that I turn to monkeys for help. Because monkeys, their brains are like ours, and we diverged from a common ancestor many million years ago, but it's still more or less the same. And monkeys are really social creatures, and they also can make sense of a face. So what I do is I test monkeys for how they respond to faces. But the point is, unlike Mr. P, monkeys cannot tell you what's going on. So we need to apply some tricks. And what I do is I train the monkeys to do a task where if they see a face, they look up. And if they see an object, they look down. And it helps to remember this rule. I can see lots of you are doing that, so you guys are really great monkeys, actually. My point is, if you apply a technique called electrical brain stimulation, very briefly, to the temporal cortex of the monkey's brain, you will see an interesting effect. What you find is they start confusing objects with faces, very much like Mr. P. And every time they see a hat, they think it's a face, very much like Mr. P. So I really hope that this research might be able to help people with this neurological condition someday. It's actually not as uncommon as we think it is. And with some luck, with some help, I really hope that my research will be able to provide a stepping stone for patients with neurological conditions much like this. Thanks a lot for listening to me today.